Start the recording. So good morning on this gray day. It's a good day to be inside and do a little yoga, right? And before I forget, I wanted to share that next week is the week I'm out of town. So no yoga on Tuesday or Friday. Sorry. Going to San Francisco and Sonoma. Yeah. We're meeting Margaret and Jeff there. Yeah, our friends. So yeah, we've had this planned a long time and all of a sudden it's here. It's like, wow. Supposed to be rainy there too. So yeah. Yeah. Oh, here comes somebody else coming down. But so last week we started on the yamas. And oh, good morning, Jeanette. And so we talked about ahimsa, which is nonviolence. And today I thought we'd hit on Satya, which means truthfulness. And you always think of truthfulness as what comes out of your mouth, but I think it's more about whether you're being true to who you actually are and authentic. And other people can tell that right away, right? If you're not authentic. And so I just wanted to share with you, this is my book, Meditations from the Mat. And Rolf Gates, I've had this forever, it's an older book, but I think he really describes Satya well. He says, Satya is about living our truth. It is that simple. There are many ways to do this, as there are people who practice Satya. And no one can tell you how you should listen for and find the truth within yourself. It makes sense to talk things over with someone you trust, but the point of the discussion is to come closer to your truth, not to have someone relieve you of the responsibility of discerning your truth. For some of us, it's a long road back to our own truth, for we live in a culture in which truth is a rare commodity. Our work environments, home lives, and friendships are often permeated with falsehood. We distrust the slogans of the media, the promises of our leaders, the testimonials of politicians. Boy, has that been big lately. The declarations of business people. Many of us come from families in which appearances are more important than reality. Still others have grown up in an upside-down household in which children took care of parents or were expected to play prescribed roles in order to meet their parents' needs. Elaborate no-talk rules must be deconstructed. Old fears must be released. Habits of silence must be examined. Are we failing to speak the truth out of a desire to protect or care for others? How do we respond to information we know to be untrue? How do we get in touch with what is true and good within ourselves? The list of ways in which we have obscured the truth from ourselves and others is as endless as the suffering such obfuscation produces. Before we begin this work, it can feel overwhelming, but we are each possessed of an inner compass. When we stand still in the wilderness and take our bearings, we are able to apprehend the truth about ourselves and the world around us. And once we commence the practice of Satya, we will never want to look back. We have only our own suffering to lose. As Plato said, truth is the beginning of every good thing, both in heaven and on earth. And he who would be blessed and happy should be from the first a partaker of truth, for then he can be trusted. Over time, you will have the pleasure of watching this beautiful practice blossom in your life in a way that is honest and authentic. As you learn to speak the truth, you will learn to be true to yourself, to all that is best in you. I believe a lot of you have a good handle on that, but it's always It's always good to just explore that. So let's just close our eyes. And find your breath. And just take a moment to feel how good it is to be in your own skin. And allow your breath to even out. Maybe slow down a bit and lengthen out. And feel your face soften a bit. And please bring hands to heart center. May we all learn to live our truth, be able to discern the truth in others, especially as we vote. And may we all honor and respect the beauty and the grace that's in ourselves and in others. Please lower your hands, open your eyes. And that's getting some love from Artemis back there. Still loud purring. Sorry about the phone call. I forgot to put it on airplane mode. So sitting up nice and tall, we're gonna work on feeling connected in the spine first. So sitting up nice and tall, feeling yourself grounded, just twist to your right a little bit. Don't crank yourself, just feel really super tall and connected. Good, and then come back to the other side. And just do that again, go back to the right side. And to the left side. And then coming to the center, keeping the sit bones back, fold forward. Hip creases back. Try not to round the low back. Don't go so deep that you feel any pressure anywhere. You just feel like a nice stretch. And then come on back up. Switch shins in front. We forget to do this. We all have our habits, and then do that same sequence again. So twist, feel super tall. Other side. Warming up the hips. Back to the first side. And to the second side. And coming to center, fold forward. Pause for a breath or two. And then come on. She's rubbing her face now, and bring your feet out in front. I want you to kind of work from the sit bones up your spine. So feel that length again. Feel like the rib cage is back. But then I want you to hollow out your armpits as you grab so you can feel nice and long. And then allow your heart to come forward a little bit, but broaden. And then lean back and come to Navasana. So you feel super connected up and down your spine, and it feels a little bit like your heart can come forward. More breath. And then come down and just come forward to all fours. And just move slowly through some cow-cats. You start with your tail for each one. You can really feel each vertebra working. We're going to do some back bends today, so I want you to really focus on how your spine, the truth in your spine. Did she bite it? She always bites my hair. Just warming up all parts of the spine. And then pause with a flat back. Extend your right leg. And again, just kind of check your core to feel if you're long. And since we're doing back bend, so you feel that long connected spine, your rib cage is back. Maybe your heart comes forward a little bit as you lift and lengthen. So lift the legs so it feels a little more like a cow. Feel that back bend. Good. And then come back to just your leg extended so you feel real connected. And then bring the foot off to the left side. Ball the foot down, nice long spine, hips are square, and then just twist and look at your foot. Good, and then bring it back to center and bring the knee in. And we'll switch sides, so left leg extends, check your core. Always feel your core really helping your spine to lengthen first, and then lift the leg a little bit and come back more into a feeling of a back bend. Very subtle. Good. And then lower back to the extended position. Bring the leg off to the right side. Lengthening, twist, and look. Oh. And come on back to center. And bring the knee in. Go ahead and sit back to a child's pose. Get off your hands for a moment. Just see how that feels in your low back. And breathe really deeply down into your belly and your low back. Maybe feel those areas expand a little bit. And you put a little pressure there. Good. And then come on up to all fours. I'm going to have you grab your blocks if you want. You don't have to have them. Yeah, you don't have to have blocks either, Connie, but might be a good idea. And then extend your right leg again and swing it all the way around till it's to the outside of your right hand. Right block. And then make sure kneecap and toes point the same direction. Hug heel to knee to heel. And with that nice long spine, come on down to your elbows if possible. If it feels good and you want to go a little deeper, you don't have to use the blocks. You can widen the knee a little bit if you keep the foot super active and keep the hips square to the front. You'll feel it, that inner thigh. Give yourself a few moments there. I don't know. It must be. I think it is thunder. I don't think it's anything in the garage. Good, come on up. And swing that leg around and we'll switch sides. So extend the left leg and sweep it around. Even things out. Just check your hips square, spine long, and come down. A lot of times, if your hips are open, it feels a lot better in your spine when you're doing back bends too. So, just gonna explore that a little bit. Like I said, if it feels good to widen the knee, but keep your foot super active, you can do that. Just make sure kneecap and toes point same direction. And then finding your way back out of that. Keep the toes curled under and sit back on your heels just to stretch out your feet, your quads a little bit. And then switch to the feet extended position. Press your toes down. Sit back on the heels. And since we really need to stretch out the quads a little more, if this feels good and you want to go deeper, you can sit between the heels too. Just see if it works. I always have to kind of adjust my calves a little bit. Yeah, and you can snug a blanket up under there if you're just hanging in midair. Use a blanket. Press your toes down. See if you're trying to scoop your tail under. If you are, try and relax it. Draw your low belly up. Lengthen your spine. Let your heart lift. If it's still feeling good and you want to go deeper, you can lower to your elbows. Notice if you're really tensing the low back. If you are, relax it. And just slowly lift your heart a little bit. I think rib cage is back. Shoulders are on the back. Allow your heart to lift, but broaden your clavicles. Feel that? Takes the thought away from your quads too. And come on back up. Come forward. Hands to the blocks. Come up, down dog. A little bit easier to ground your heels down when you have the blocks, which feels good when you've just been sitting on your feet for that long. And then come on back down to your knees. And extend your right foot to the side. And come on up. for just a little gate pose. So press the foot down, right arm's down, left arm's up. Engage your spine. I want you to feel like everything's square to the front and it's like your heart's coming forward just a little bit, and then arc. I don't ever go very deep on gate pose. It just isn't in my wheelhouse, but it feels kind of good. I want you to feel that left armpit hollowed out a little bit. Good. And then the heart opening part, bring the hand down, turn your toes up on the opposite leg. Again, think really connected in the core, and then maybe let the heart come forward so it feels like a joyous pose, hopefully. Get your heart exposed. Expose your truth. Good. And then come forward and back in so we can switch. Left foot out, come up, check your core. Right arm up and arc. Must have been thunder. Right, armpits hollowed out, but you're so connected, you're not scooping your tail. Good, and then open up so that toes point up. Take your time. Think really engaged in the core. I draw my rib cage back, but then I can bring the shoulders on the back more and expose my heart a little bit. Good, and then come on down. Back in. And again, just come up on your knees with your toes curled under. We're just gonna feel that a little more. So bring your arms to cactus with your elbows in front a little bit. And think long side body. Draw the head of the arm bone back, but draw the rib cage back as well. Don't scoop the tailbone, draw the low belly up. So you feel super long, right? Now just slowly lean back a little bit and let your heart stay forward. Broaden the clavicle. Good. And then go the opposite direction. So tuck the chin, draw the sternum back, round the shoulders, bring the forearms together. It feels a little bit like cat, especially in the upper body. And then do that again. Think length first, and then broaden and expose the heart a little bit. Try not to scoop the tail. And then back to the rounded position. Think, just kind of lengthen the back of my neck, draw the sternum back, round between the shoulders. And one more time. This is just training you. I want you to go slow so you can think, okay, really connected all the way up. And then as I broaden and move back, I can expose my heart a little bit. And then round. Good, and come on down. I'm going to have you lose your blocks for a moment and make your way to regular down dog, or not regular, but power dog. So you can really feel strength in your shoulders. You can feel your spine connected up and down. And maybe let your heart come forward just a little bit as you're broadening the clavicles, feeling that connection. Lengthening the back of the neck through the top of the head. Good, come forward to plank like that. If you need to lower your knees to lower down, you can. I always just kind of think, oh, if I have the shoulder girdle really connected, that translates to the rest of the body and I can lower down. Good. Stretch the feet long. I want you to get that same feeling in Cobra now. So lengthen first. Don't scoop the tailbone and just think, wow, I want this nice, beautiful, even curve in my back as I lift up. Armpits are hollow. Good. And lower back down. Push back all the way to child's pose with your arms extended. Have to kind of bend the back both ways. Breathe deep into the low back. Feel that puff up there. Good, and then come on up to all fours again. And right where your hands are, or your wrists are, I'm going to have you place your elbows, interlace your hands. You're going to press forearms and hands down and just work with your spine now. So think long side body. I'm staying connected. I'm not doing shoulder blades on the back so much, but really staying connected in the shoulder girdle. So the front and the back feel super connected. And then keeping the curve in the low back, you're going to curl your toes and just lift your knees. Takes a lot of strength in your shoulders to keep your armpits hollowed out, but keep that strength. It feels like you're working both sides of the shoulders. Lengthen through the top of the head, dolphin pose. If you're feeling good, you can walk your feet a little closer. Don't have to. You can extend one leg if you want. And then switch if you want, only if it feels good. And then take 2 more breaths. And come on back down. Good. Find your blocks again. And come up to down dog on the blocks. Extend the right leg and step it through. Deep lunge. Just take a moment there. Feel that stretch. We haven't stretched that way yet. Lower the back knee. Hug heel to knee. And come up right. And now, so you feel stable in your legs and your hips. Your hips are square. Now start working up your spine. So you're not going to scoop it. You're going to draw the low belly up. Think rib cage back. Bring your arms forward, hollow at the armpits. Broaden the clavicles. And then maybe extend the arms up. Feel like it's a little bit more of a heart opening. Anjane. With an open heart. With your truth exposed. And touch down. Lift the back knee, step back. And we'll switch sides. Left leg extends and steps forward. Deep lunge. Lower the back knee when you're ready. And get that really connected feel. If it feels better just to keep your hands here and lean back, that's fine. If you want to dangle, lean back a little bit, that's fine. I want you to feel super connected. Long side body, rib cage and shoulders back. And then stretch up into it. can hug heel to knee to stay stable. A really big stretch in my hip flexor when I do it this way, and then slowly come down. Lift the back knee, this time step forward to a forward fold. Just take a moment here. And then bending the knees, hands on the knees, come up to chair pose. So just keep your hands there until you feel like your back is really engaged, and then bring hands to heart center. And then press into your feet and stand up. Now, if you have really tight shoulders, you might want to have a block for this next thing, because I'm going to have you interlace your hands behind you. So think, before you do that, just check, are you really engaged? So I always have to think, okay, I'm going to keep the curve, but I'm going to draw the rib cage back, and then I'm going to engage the shoulders back and broaden a little bit. And then when I reach back to interlace the hands, it feels really safe. And then maybe extend the knuckles back a little bit, keep broadening, keep lengthening. Good, and then fold forward and allow your hands to come over. Now, if that doesn't feel good, if you have a belt, you can grab it with your knuckles or pointing back and your thumbs in. And just take a few breaths. If you felt your shoulders round when you lean forward, then bend your knees a little bit, come up more. Should feel really nice. Good, and then release the hands. And just for fun, inhale, pranam. Feel that lengthening of the spine. Exhale, fold. And inhale, sweep all the way up. Check for connection up and down your spine. Hip creases stay back, but you're really engaging your core, and maybe you can even arc back a little bit. And then come on up. Bring hands through heart center. So far, so good? Okay. Take a wide stance on your mat, whichever way you want to. You can use your blocks here if your hamstrings are tight. And just come to standing first. So come on up, Carrie, first. Feel your feet really engaged. And then work up. So feet, I feel like all parts of my feet are working. Kneecaps and toes point same direction. Yep. Really active legs all the way up to the hips, and then work up your spine. Just like we've been doing. Keep the curve. Keep long side body. Rib cage back. Shoulders back. Bring your arms to cactus. Think really nice, and then extend them up. Maybe lean back just slightly. I like to keep a little baby bend in my knees. It feels totally different in this position. And then come on back up and slowly fold forward. Prasarita Uttanasana. Wide-legged forward fold. Encourage you to, yeah, good. You guys all look good here. Feel that like you're not rounding too much in the low back, but you are trying to find a nice long spine. If you need to bend your knees more to keep the hip creases back, fabulous. Take a moment. See if you can get a really good connected feeling in all parts of your body. So this feels pretty sweet, not too deep. And then come up like a pranam. So your hands are under your shoulders. Now, if you're using blocks, fine. You want to add a little length to your arms, arm extenders. That's good. Keep your right hand where it is. Bring your left hand to your hip. And just work up your spine and then twist to your left. I don't like to extend my arm, but you can if it really feels like you want to. What I'm working to find is connection in my spine. And then maybe with the shoulders that connected, maybe I can expose my heart a little bit. Good. And then come on down and switch. Right hand to the hip, left hand grounded. Lengthen the spine, twist, expose the heart a little bit if that feels right. Keep the curve. And then unfold. And go ahead and fold back into Prasarita again. If it's different than your extended pose, doesn't have to be. Extended is where it feels the best, then you just stay there. Try and lift the arches a little bit. Don't allow the feet to get sloppy. Think sits bones back and apart. And then slowly come on up. So I like to bring hands on knees to come on up to standing. That feels good, right? And then heel toe come together. Wow. Good. Come to back to the front of your mat. And just have your blocks handy. You're going to want to grab them at some point. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, pranam. Exhale, fold. Step your feet back. I'm using the blocks to downward facing dog. And then lower your knees. And walk your hands back and put your blocks by your heels if you're needing them. And we're just going to play with camel pose a little bit. So again, I'm going to stretch my toes long, but you can keep them curled under. I want you to feel your legs and your feet active. It's like you're really activating them. So you can keep the hip creases back. You don't scoop your tailbone, but you draw your low belly up. Get the rib cage back, lengthen up, keep a long side body, and then just the right arm, extend that. You can keep a little baby bend if that's easier to keep that hollowed out and allow your heart to come forward a little bit and slowly lean back. See if you can find the block with your left hand. And try not to scoop the tailbone, make long spine, connected spine, and maybe go a little deeper. I keep a long back of neck, and I like to keep my eyes looking forward. Good, and then come on up. Feel okay? Okay. Everybody okay? Hopefully you guys at home are. Let's go for the other side. And you don't even have to extend your arms if your name starts with L. You know who you're. She's got shoulder issues. So activate your legs and feet. Work up your spine. Extend the left arm. Keep that armpit hollow. Broaden the clavicles so you feel you can expose your heart and then reach back. Find the block. Mostly think length. And then when the arc happens, it feels really sweet. Good. And come on up. Okay, now I'm going to encourage you to try both. And maybe you need to lower the blocks, or perhaps you can even find your heels. Your toes are curled under, or even if they're straight. So just play with it. So set up from the base. So legs, feet, pelvis, length, connection, and then expose the heart. Notice if you're trying to scoop, relax that, draw the low belly up though. And then let your heart come forward. You want to let your head go back. Okay. You're connected all the way up and down. Feels good. And then leading with your heart, come forward. And go ahead and take a child's pose. Come back up to all fours with your hands on the blocks and make your way to down dog. And the right leg, step it forward, deep lunge. Again, we're going to do that same thing, that exposing the heart in crescent pose. So make your way up. Keep the hips square. If you need to lower the back knee, please do. It's okay. And then just work up your spine and connection. And then maybe expose the heart a little bit. Good, touch down. Step back and then the left leg and step it forward. And set up. Legs really strong and connected. Spine super long. And then go for it. I like to keep a baby bend in my back knee. It just gives me a little more wiggle room for the arc. And please touch down. Good, lose the blocks. Step back, down dog. Take a moment and down dog. Don't lose all connection in your spine. And come forward to plank. Lower down. And cobra. Once again, it's getting that feeling of connection in your legs and your pelvis, all up and down your spine, and then feel that arc of your back, an even, nice, beautiful arc. Lengthening first, feels really nice. And lower down. Good, come on up to a seated position, and you can sit on your blanket if you want. I'm going to, I think. Bring your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Flex your feet. So when you're opening your shoulder, you know, we've been opening it back more than forward, but you have to do it both ways to get that really good feeling of connection. So right hand off to the side, left hand across. Lengthen the back of your neck. Draw your sternum back. Step on the gas. Think long side body, but feel that stretch all up and down the whole left side of your body. And in particular, between your shoulder blades, you'll feel a little bit of a stretch there. Good. And then come on up and switch. Keep it nice and long. See if you can feel the muscle fibers on the inside, that the inside edge of your shoulder blade, just kind of getting a good, nice stretch. Good. Come on back up. Reach across to your right ankle and bring it across. And then slide your left ankle in a little closer. And then cross your wrist and grab on either side of the foot. And then extend that leg up. Should be nice and warm. Now keep a hold with your right hand. Bring your left hand off to the side. Think, just check your spine and maybe twist. Good. Pretty easy, right? Come on back to center. Very good. Bring it on in. And we'll switch. So bring the left knee foot across. And you just want to feel stable and like you're on both sits bones. Bring this in so it's centered on your sit bone. Cross your wrist, grab the foot, lengthen your spine, and then lengthen your leg. It doesn't matter if it straightens all the way. If your hamstring says, nope, that's not happening, it's okay. Feel your spine nice and long. Bring the right hand off to the side. Draw your low belly up and twist. Good, and unwind. And come on down. Now slide off your blanket. Bring your feet off flat. Again, set up your spine for Navasana. So really nice and long. Feel like your heart kind of exposed a little bit. You're really strong in your shoulder girdle. Lean back and then extend. Draw your low belly up, but keep the curve in the low back. You feel that? Good. One more breath. Come on in, bring the feet flat and go ahead and grab a block to have it handy and come on down to your back. Feet right underneath. You guessed it, we're going to Satya Bandha, bridge pose. So setting up, I want you to not forget about everything that you've been practicing standing and sitting with your back. You're going to do it laying down. So think of long side body, hollow armpits, curve in the low back, legs and feet super active, rib cage back. And keep that, lift your feet up, bring your hands on your thighs, and just think, oh, abdominal bracing. So push the thighs away and up a little bit. Same muscles we always work on to keep us strong in that back. Good, just keeping your awareness on those. Release. Hands by the hips. And lift your hips up, keeping that awareness. Maybe if your arms, you can roll side to side, get shoulder blades underneath you a little more, but keep the widening of the clavicles. You can interlace your hands. Let me have you hold this for a while. And just want you to really feel all up and down your spine. Wow. Expose your heart just a little more, but with that connection, maybe you have to lengthen the back of your neck a little more. Good, and lower down. Hug your knees in for a moment. It just started raining here, you guys at home. I don't know if it's raining there, but sounds like heavy drops. Okay, we're gonna do Satya Bandha again, or you can do full hand or Urdhva Dhanurasana, back bend, if that's part of your practice, your normal practice. But if you're doing it, I want you to set up the same. So remember the abdominal bracing. So sits bones are down. You feel the curve. Your rib cage is back. You're going to full Dhanurasana. Is the Dhanurasana? Place your hands. And then everybody, just lift your hips, even if you're planning to go up, and work up your spine. So think legs and feet super active. Armpits are hollow. Rib cage is back. I'm exposing my heart. Maybe you lift to the top of your head. And maybe push on up. Or if you're in Satya Bandha, just practice that feeling of connection all up and down your spine. Everyone, come on down, no matter where you are. Hug your knees in. We're going to do Satya Bandha one more time, but I'm going to encourage you to sit on your block. So bring the block under the sacrum. So lift up just enough to slide your block under. And you'll know it's in the right place because you'll be able to lift your heart a little bit or lift your feet, and it feels good either way. And then rest down on it. Light down a little. Yeah, if that feels good. Does it feel good? Yeah. Yeah, you can extend the legs straight up if you want. You can just play with either way, just feeling, yeah. And you can play with having the block low, medium, or even high if you're, some of you can really get back bendy. I'll show you what that looks like. Not as stable, but feels nice. And just play with your legs a bit. This should feel very restorative. Nothing more. Like it's just kind of supporting you in the best way. And then please lift up enough that you can slide the block out and come down. Interlace your hands behind your right thigh. And stretch your left leg straight. And then draw a big circle with your right big toe. And just hug your right knee in. You can bring it to the outside just a little bit towards your armpit. Feels really nice. And then bend your left knee and place your right ankle on top so that you're in that hip opening position. Maybe you just want to stay right here, or you can interlace behind the left thigh if you lift the left foot up. Your choice. And then allowing the left foot to come back down. Switch. So interlace behind the left thigh. Extend the right leg. You'll still be able to feel the curve in your low back. Feel that right leg grounded. And make a big, and like you're painting with your big toe. Making a circle or making whatever you want. Maybe it's your name. You're drawing your name with your big toe. And then hugging that knee, left knee in towards your left armpit. Bend the right knee, place the left ankle on top, open the left knee, maybe interlace behind the right thigh if that's where you're going. Don't have to. More breath. Release. Bring both feet flat and then bring the soles of the feet together. Let the knees open. Supta Baddha Konasana. And closing the knees, go ahead and stretch out for Shavasana. And notice if you feel a little scrunched in your spine, see if you can lengthen it even more. Feel the natural curve in your low back. Cover up if you want to, since it's kind of one of those cover up kind of days. Relax your tongue, your ears. Relax your belly button, your kneecaps. And your pinky toes. Every exhale, an opportunity to let go. Noticing how your breath feels moves in and out. And to deepen it somewhat. Find the energy it can bring. And move in small ways. When you're ready, you can start the transition. Slowly on up to a seated position. Bring hands to heart center. Bow to the authentic, true you. Namaste. Thank you, guys. I'm turning the recording off. There we go.
Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. So remember, no yoga next week. Sorry.
Oh,
you guys,
that's okay.
You
The
guys
whole
can-
week?
yes, neither
Okay.
Tuesday or Friday.
Okay.
I'm leaving on Tuesday and I won't be back till Sunday, I guess. So
Where
Where
are
are
you
you
going?
off to?
going to San Francisco and Sonoma wine
Fun.
country. Yeah.
Fun.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Used to live there. It was fun.
Oh gosh, that's right. Is that where your house burned down, Susan?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Have fun. It'll be a beautiful time.
Oh,
Yeah. Great time,
thank
Lisa.
you. Oh, thank you. All right, bye now.
Okay.
Bye.